Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, as you can see, we're showing valves. Caked in, baked in, and this is just a low mileage. Higher mileage will have a lot more junk on them, more carbon buildup. Well, why is it? Why is this carbon buildup an issue? Well, it's called technology. Technology that companies are sell today to consumers. Technology has two sides. There is like a coin. You see the coin right there? It has two sides. Same with the technology. And when it comes to technology, they always sell the positive side. But there is a negative side. Carbon buildup is the negative side. It's just a one of things when it comes to direct injection. See this injector? It's a direct injection. This is pretty much brand new injector. There's a tiny little hole up there. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus. Come on, focus. Right there. Let's see how much you can see, but there is a tiny little hole, pinhole on the injector that is, well, because this injector is pretty much brand new, it gets clogged up. Unfortunately, it gets clogged up, and once it gets clogged up, you get poor fuel economy, rough idling, engine is not running, and so on. So, why? Why direct injection and carbon buildup is an issue? Well, here is the thing. I'm going to show you. This is where the injector goes in. This is the direct injection. This direct injection, see? Right there. See right there, the other cylinder head. There is hole, and there is the injector right there. See how much carbon buildup on inside? It's not much because it's the head. It's a relatively brand new head on this engine. It was replaced previously, so that's why you don't see much. You don't see much, but you still see on the inside carbon buildup. And carbon buildup is the result of direct injection. Where is this direct injection spraying? It's spraying directly, see, inside the combustion chamber. So nothing is spraying there to keep your valves clean. Absolutely nothing. And that's why the technology has its negative effects. You know what I mean? Companies claim that direct injection improves fuel economy. Well, how much does it improve versus non-direct injection? I wasn't able to find. I'll give you the bad things about this direct injection technology. Most of the cars today on the road has it. Most of it. Some cars going back to probably mid 2000s, maybe even earlier had technology. And here is the thing, here is the trend. Cars with direct injection technology have more engine problems than cars without it. Why is it? I will explain in this video. Most of the cars, like I said, have direct injection, and there's few cars that have both direct and port, meaning you have two injectors, one that's directly and another that sprays directly inside the port in the valves. So dual injectors, which is a combination of both. But if it fails, it will be expensive to fix it. Keep that in mind. So the problems with direct injection is carbon buildup on valves, like I showed you inside there. That's the number thing. When you have that buildup, to remove it, there is products in the market. I'm not sure how effective they are. Most of the most effective is they called it walnut shell blasting to clean it up. There are chemicals that you can spray, but if you wait till like 20 or 30,000, I don't think the chemical is going to do, unless you do it periodically, probably every, I would say 10,000. They might be helpful. I do not know for sure. I wasn't able to find any data that, you know what I mean, that it will help. But I know for sure that if you wait long enough, those chemicals that you spray ain't gonna do anything, ain't gonna help you with the carbon buildup. So that's the one thing with direct injection. The second thing is the biggest problem, fuel dilution. With direct injection engines, 5% of fuel is being dumped into the oil. What does it mean? It means the oil goes bad faster. Companies that claim that you can go 15,000 miles with direct injection engines is completely false information. You can go, but those engines don't last past warranty without problems, without any problems. Yes, keep that in mind. Some brands of oil with direct injection technology can only last 2,000 miles max because oil becomes so diluted and oil cannot tolerate that extra gasoline that being dumped. Think about it. Take a milk and take a 5% of Pepsi and dump into the milk. What kind of milk is that going to be? Or juice? Well, it's not going to be milk anymore as you're supposed to think it's going to be milk. Same thing with the oil. Dumping gasoline into the oil and expecting oil to lubricate and protect the engine components ain't going to happen. That's why the oil goes out the specifications at 2,000 miles maximum on some brands. I'm not saying that every brand of oil, because every brand of oil is formulated differently and tolerates that extra gasolines being dumped differently. So keep that in mind. Unless you do oil analysis or you do research to find exactly your engine that someone done an oil analysis that it says yes, it's safe to run factory recommended change intervals, then you're in good shape, or you do oil analysis. Otherwise, people that believe factory recommended, remember, factory recommended, it's not a requirement, it's a recommendation. Recommendation is optional, requirement is a must, you shall follow. Otherwise, consequences will be really bad. Recommendation is an option. Keep that in mind. A lot of people don't understand between recommended and required. Recommended, that word recommended means it's an optional. You have the option to change per factory recommended intervals. I don't follow factory recommended. I found that following factory recommended intervals is the worst thing you can do, unless you found an oil that works best, using the best oil or best lubricant, whatever that is for your engine or transmission or your differential. It's just the matter of facts. Otherwise, change your oil more often. Cars with direct injection are very hard on oil. They dump a lot of fuel. They create, what happens when that fuel starts evaporating and all the additives in the oil, they end up here. They're not being cleaned with a port injector because direct injections only sprays directly into combustion chamber. The other thing, carbon buildup, dilution, injectors. The third thing, like I mentioned earlier, injector tips get clogged up with the carbon, and then you have a bad spraying pattern, vibration, engine not running, check engine light, and so on. So what do you have to do with this technology? You gotta use additives, fuel additives. People say that that gasoline, high octane gasoline or higher grade gasoline is enough, has enough detergent. Well, there is no proof. There is absolutely no proof. Yes, they have higher content, but is it better than running a additive? There is no proof. Absolutely, there is no proof. Do I use additive? Yes, I do. I don't have direct injections in my vehicles. I don't think I would ever buy a car with direct injections, unless it's a diesel, an exception. Otherwise, it's just not going to work for me. I'm just, when it comes to technology, I'm not that quick to jump the bandwagon because companies are selling and everyone else is jumping on it. No. Old school technology it's always worked and it's the most reliable. Why some of the older engines are still in high demand? They're old technology. They're not the powerful engines. They're the slow engines. But they're the most reliable engines because they're very simple, mechanical. There is no direct injection on some of these engines, and they last long time because no fuel dilution, no carbon buildup issues, no no injectors being clogged up or anything. So, like I said, I use the fuel injectors cleaners on a regular basis, even though I don't have direct injection vehicle. My recommendation is to use fuel injector cleaners on a regular basis, but do research. There are products on the market that only do very little. I mean very, very little. But they cost premium price too. So when the companies claim 20% better improvement over what? You know what I mean? Read the details. If you want my recommendation or if you want to know what I use, some of you guys already know what I use. I'm not going to say you want it. Ask me. I will drop a comment. I will give you my recommendation. But otherwise, research, people. You know what I mean? Use it. You have the car. I know many of you, my subscribers, have those cars with direct injection. It's just, you know what I mean, because if you want a newer vehicle, pretty much 90% of them have direct injection. And another thing that you want to mention, leaking injectors. See that right there? From all the high compression, they're going to be leaking. And on some cars, it's very expensive to replace it. Very hard to get to it, to the injectors. And injectors get burned out too. Gasoline injector, from the temperature, from all the wear, you know what I mean? It's just how it works. So, drop me in the comment sections, you know what I mean, what issues you have been having with your direct injections. If you know, if you don't know, just let me know year, make, and model, and I will tell you if you have it or not. I might not know exactly, but something else that I want to mention, cars with direct injections, they usually sound, when you pop the hood, kind of like a diesel. There is the ticking, very loud ticking noise, you know what I mean? You're gonna get injector noise with a port injection of regular cars without direct injection, but it's not as, it's a different sound. It's like almost like a diesel. On some cars, it sounds like there's a problem with an engine, you know what I mean? The tick is so strong, the ticking noise from the injectors, it's because of direct injection. It's just a, it's a normal thing. So drop in the comment sections, you know what I mean, what, if you had experience or what you have, and if your car has direct injections, if you know or not. Are you using fuel additives or not? Are you having issues with your engine? Maybe you have an older engine with direct injections. I would love to hear your story, your experience. You know what I mean? I share my opinion, what I know about direct injections, and so on. So thank you. Have an awesome day, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments.